I'm not gonna lie, when I hit the year mark on this Purposefully Homeless journey, I was fully expecting to be able to make this video from my new home, but I don't have a new home yet, so you get another car video. What's up, y'all? It's Rachel Elizabeth, and you're watching Real Talk with Rach. I'm gonna keep it really real. I wanted this journey to be over this week. I expected this journey to be over this week, but I'm learning some really difficult lessons. And they're really good lessons, but that doesn't mean that they're easy and they're worth it. So I'm going to share a little bit of that with you guys. But I want to say one thing first. As much as you see me as the one going through the journey is not about me at all. It's all about God's faithfulness. It's all about God. It's all about Him. It's because of this journey that I have the most incredible personal history of His goodness and provision and unchanging character. This journey has changed me. Ask anyone who knew me before this journey versus now. Y'all, when you are living by faith and completely dependent on God, you are in an incubator for Him to do whatever He wants with your heart. And it's the best thing ever. And the harder the trial, the more gold is going to come from it. So I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to share with you what I went through the past couple of days, and hopefully my lesson can be yours too. So I had a lot of resistance leading up to this year mark because I had set this expectation and this hope that I would be done on October 1st, that I'd be released from it, that I would have a home drop out of the sky somehow, that something major would change and I would no longer be on this journey. And I don't mean faith journey, and I don't mean the end of my faith journey, because I believe that my faith journey will continue the rest of my life. I'm talking about the Purposefully Homeless journey. I want PH to stand for passionately His or something else entirely, but I don't want it to stand for Purposefully Homeless, because that means that I still don't have a home of my own. I don't have somewhere that I'm planted to really dig deeper in community and settle down. I don't have that. And that's really hard. But you guys, He's still using me, and being used by God is the most amazing thing. Even the Airbnb I stayed in on Sunday night was part of His plan. The hosts were so curious about the journey, and I got to share my testimony with them, and I know that God was doing something with that. But on Monday morning, when nothing had changed and I had a whole day of waiting ahead of me, I was really honest with God about not wanting my hope to be deferred again. Proverbs 13:12 says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is the tree of life." Y'all, my prayer has been for that longing to be fulfilled at least by the year mark, if not earlier, but obviously that didn't happen. But Monday morning, while I was still waiting, I gave Him all of these anxieties, and I just asked Him to speak to me about this. And He said, Matthew 8:26. Matthew 8:26 is Jesus' response to the disciples when they were in a boat in the middle of a storm and Jesus was sleeping, and the disciples thought that they were going to die. So they wake Him up and basically say, "Don't you care about us? We're going to die." And His response, "You have little faith. Why are you so afraid?" And then He gets up and He calms the storm. And when I read 8:26, where He said, "You have little faith," everything made sense. And yeah, it was a rebuke, but it was so kind. It was so sweet of Him to reveal my fear so that I could give that to Him and know that fear is not of Him. So anything that I was struggling with in that moment wasn't from Him. And in that moment, He gave me so much peace. And I really think that He increased my faith in that moment, because the rest of the day didn't feel like waiting. I was content. I was full of joy. And that night, I went to Gospel House without a place to stay, expecting something to happen. And my friend Holly, who lives in Monrovia, invited me to stay at a home that she's working at in Studio City. And I told her, great, I'll come over after Gospel House. Except that at 10:40 when I left, she had texted an hour before. And I called and I texted and she had fallen asleep. And y'all, this stuff happens all the time. I'm not mad, not at all. But it meant that I didn't have a place to stay. I had driven out to the address to see if I could get in and couldn't find the place. So an hour later, I decided to get food with a friend. An hour after that, around 1 a.m., I decided to drive out to Monrovia and see if I could get into her place, where she had actually let me go crash earlier that day just to rest. So I thought maybe the door's still open. Drove all the way to Monrovia, the door was locked, and I realized that I was going to be sleeping in my car for the first time in this entire journey. Yes, I've stayed in a car before, but it wasn't my own and it was much bigger, so I could completely stretch out. But I had never had to sleep in this car once in an entire year until Monday night, which happened to be the anniversary of leaving my home. So let me tell you, that was not easy, but God gave me so much peace about it. Side note, peace does not equal ease. Peace does not necessarily equal comfort, but peace gets you through without panic, without fear, with contentment. The peace of God is not momentary peace. It's completely wild peace. It doesn't make any sense. And that's the peace that I felt that night when I knew that that's what he was calling me to do. And with that peace, he gave me another passage, but he didn't give me the exact passage. He just reminded me what the words were. And so I looked up the passage, and it's 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 22. And it's where the Apostle Paul is speaking to the church in Corinth, telling them that he's willing to go to any extreme to be relatable to anyone so that he can win as many souls to freedom in Jesus as possible. So in that verse, he says, I've become all things to all men so that by all possible means I might save some. Y'all, that's the passage that he gave me when I realized that I was going to be staying in my car. And I did not want to stay in my car, and I never want to stay in my car again. But I understand. And if that's what it takes to be relatable to one more person that I could see set free, to save one more soul, if that's what it takes, I'll do it again. If that's what it takes, I'll do it again. I want to be all things to all people so that by any possible means I might save some. Y'all, this is the reason I started Cause Fitness. If I could change one life by sharing my testimony, by teaching somebody how to improve their lifestyle and become healthier, if I could change one life, it would be worth it. And just like that, the lesson here is that if I can change one eternal destiny, it's all worth it. So yeah, I'm still on the journey and I don't want to be on it anymore, but God is faithful. This isn't about me. I love that he uses me because I love him, and because I love him, I love people. So if doing this and sharing this journey is going to change one life, and I already know it's changed more than one, by the grace and the mercy and the kindness of God, it's all worth it. Every single day on the journey is worth it. So as long as he gives me the strength to continue, and as long as he asks me for that yes, it's his. And I hope and pray, and I believe that he changes your heart and draws you in so sweetly and so deeply into intimacy with him that you would always and forever give him your yes, no matter what the call, no matter what the risk, no matter what the cost. He is worth it. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. Please keep praying for me. Oh, it's hard, but it's good. Thank you so much to my Patreon family and all of you who have supported me this past year and who continue to support me. If you've never supported me or you want to know how, there are donation links in the description box below. Every single penny means the world to me. You guys are amazing. I couldn't do this without you. I thank Jesus for you every day, and I will see you next time. Bye. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, I want you to remind me what your favorite part of this journey of mine has been for you so far. Okay, ready? Tell me in the comments below.